Greetings, fellow Malawians, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow citizens, so to speak. My name is McBride Kalamba. We have been interacting, for those of you who have been paying attention, to Zodiac Kuya Podcast. The purpose of the podcast, as you are aware, is for us to discuss our society, our economy, and our politics. The whole idea being that we should be on the same footing and understanding as to the national affairs that affect us all in the economic domain, the political domain, as well as the social domain. The purpose of the podcast is very, very simple. It is to give us a sense of what is possible. It is to heighten our understanding of the options and choices that we have as a society. But equally important, it is for us to be able to examine the quality of leadership, the quality of our public institutions, the judiciary, the executive, the legislature, and other public institutions of accountability. All that is important as a conversation to begin with, which is taking place on podcast, but more critically, it is to provide us with a background in which we can examine the choices that really matter. Ultimately, the choices you make in an election when you are electing a leader. Us, you and me, have the ability to influence these outcomes. And it is important that we understand what is critical for us to be able to influence these outcomes. And this is why we have gone on a series of episodes on Kuya Podcast to discuss matters of state. We also have to appreciate that Malawi does not exist in a vacuum, nor does it exist in a cocoon. Malawi is part of the international community. It's part of the Southern Africa community. It is also part of Africa, but it's part of the international community. And therefore, we cannot separate or divorce our circumstances from what is taking place globally. There are a lot of changes, geopolitical changes in the world, shifts in the balance of power, shifts in the economies, and shifts in what we are now calling a multipolar world from a unipolar world, which was predominantly dominated by one country. Malawi must necessarily respond to that. There are other matters to do with trade, there are matters to do with values, and these are various values, social values, religious values, and we should also be part of that conversation. In an increasingly interconnected world where we are talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about social media, we should be able to have an exchange within the country, but also with our fellow global citizens outside the country. I hope that you'll continue paying attention to Kuya Podcast and what will follow, which is, as I indicated, ultimately our ability to decide who should actually govern, who should actually lead us, and our own agency in this whole equation.